Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Hegfreeze here. Today I am bringing you 3 awesome entitled parent stories. Keywords include lazy and not so bright kids, Lithuania, and renting. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the stories. Entitled mother blames me for the laziness of her kids. This happened a few years ago, when I was in my last year of high school, trying to save up some money for university, graduation prom, whatever a 17-year-old girl needs. My mom had made up pretty early that you have to work if you want something. So I was working part-time at a big fast food chain and giving private lessons to other students. I'd usually take around $7.50 per hour, which isn't very little compared to what professionals take in my area, $25–30 per hour. But well, I'm not a professional. Keep that in mind though. So, I was working with 2 kids. They were sisters. One was around 12 years old, the cutest girl, but lazy as hell. The other one was 16, going through a hard time trying to fit in, but actually quite smart. Let's call them LG, lazy girl, and RG, rebellious girl, for now. Of course, there was a mother to these girls, our EM. She was a single mom in her 40s and was very nice when I met her. When I was first coming over to their home to negotiate the when, how often and how much, EM told me her daughters needed a lot of lessons, so maybe we could go down with the price? I asked how much and she suggested $5 per hour. I hesitated, but because I needed the money, I said if they booked me 10 hours a week in total, I'd go down for $6.50. We agreed, and God, she was right. The girls were both far behind from what was expected. I really worked my ass off with them for 2 or 3 months, made exercises for practicing, checked homework, gave them additional homework for the topics they needed to improve in, etc. The problem was that neither LG nor RG ever did the homework I gave them. They didn't practice vocabulary, didn't read anything I told them to, nothing. At first I thought it was because, at least for RG, I was their age. But usually that isn't an issue and I don't think it was with them either. When it came to checking their homework, they just sat there and complained about how they didn't have the time to do it, or forgot, or whatever. So obviously their grades weren't improving much and I had to talk to their mother. This happened a few years ago, so don't kill me if the words aren't exactly the ones that were used. EM:
My girl's grades aren't improving, you must be doing something wrong.
Well, it is important that they also practice without me. Do their homework, learn vocabulary, and so on. I can't control what they do when I'm not there. I can only explain things, they have to apply it. EM:
Maybe you just don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you're the one who needs lessons.
Luckily, we had received our semi-annual records that day and I showed her that I very well knew the topics. EM:
I will ask LG and RG if they feel you teach them well.
Calls LG and RG. EM:
Me says you're not doing your homework, but I know that isn't true. She isn't a good teacher, that's the problem, right?
LG: Well, she did give us homework, but I was with my friends, so... RG: Raging about how she doesn't want to graduate anyway, she wants to work and earn money. EM:
See, it's entirely your fault, you made them so difficult to handle.
Me: They are in puberty, that's often a bit difficult. EM:
No, they are so lovely and easy, but since you've been teaching them, my poor little girls are totally confused.
Me: So you want to look for a different teacher? EM:
No, you have to keep teaching them, but I will no longer pay you $6.50. You get $4 an hour, and you will do more hours.
Me: Sorry, I don't do this job for $4 an hour. It's a lot of preparing and checking exercises afterwards. That's not a fair price. If you want me to keep teaching them, we can talk about it. But they have to do the homework I tell them to do. And I can't do more hours. I'm graduating this year and have another job. I simply don't have the time. EM:
I don't care. You teach my children. I basically own you. And the homework you give them is completely unnecessary. They don't have to do anything like that. It's useless.
Me: If your kids don't work, no teacher in the world can make them improve. EM:
That's not true. You will. You don't have a choice.
Me: Takes bag, walks out. EM keeps yelling at me for making her children behave so difficult. She kept texting me about how I ruined her children, so I blocked her. Found out a few years later that RG dropped out of school and LG started doing drugs and had to repeat a school year twice. So yeah, I guess I ruined them for good. Entitled Dad, why won't you name your kid after him? So, I don't know if this is a tradition anywhere else, but in Lithuania, your child's middle name is a grandparent's first name. Example being one of my grandparents' name is Rose, and thus my sister's middle name is Rose. This conversation was in Lithuanian and over the phone, so forgive me for any translation errors. Not everything has an English equivalent, but I will try my best. Names have not been changed because you'll see why. We live in an English-speaking country, so that is why I am concerned about that. So, hubby and I were talking baby names as we decided to use my maternal grandmother's name as the flow is just better. So I go and tell the family what we've decided on and me. Okay, so if it's a girl, her name will be Elise Tamara. If it's a boy, it will be David. We haven't decided on a middle name yet. Edie,
Why not name him after my dad?
Me, because I was close to Grandma Tamara and I want to honor her with the name. Edie,
Okay, but why not give a boy my dad's name? Valari is a nice name.
Me, yes, except it sounds very stupid in English. Larry is not a very good name, and David Larry doesn't sound good at all. Edie,
Oh, come on, it's your grandpa. You want to show you love him, don't you?
Me, I only knew the man for 3 years, so while I know you love him and we're close, I don't have the same connection as you do. Edie,
So you won't name a second girl Lucy either?
Me, I like Grandma Lucy though. Edie,
Yeah, so why not name a boy after her husband? Don't be a charkas.
a Lithuanian swear word. Me, wow, Dad, please. Me, in English to husband, tell him Larry is a stupid name. H, loud enough my dad can hear.
I agree.
Me, C. Edie,
So just keep the name Valari. Don't translate it. David Valari. See, it sounds nice.
Me, that's not the only thing. I told you the other thing. I wasn't close to him at all. In fact, the only memory I have of him is that one fishing trip I took when I was 5. I don't know him at all. During which a Shudaziel jumped in the boat and scared me. I seriously don't think it's proper to name someone after someone you don't know. It's like me naming a kid Harry Potter or something. Shudas, goat crap. Edie,
Yeah, but he's your grandpa.
Me, sigh of frustration, knowing this conversation will go nowhere and just do another loop. Okay, fine, I'll think about it. Edie,
Ada girl. Boy, I love you.
Me, bye dad. So hung up and turned towards my husband. Me, you come up with the middle name. I give up. H. Update. Our second child will now have the name Valerie as the middle name. Mostly since after thinking about it, it's not too bad a name. Just, yeah, might warm up to it, I don't know. I don't care if you're living here, my daughter wants to rent. As with many folks, I didn't think I had anything to contribute here. But when I actually read the sign on our front door for the first time in a few months, I remembered the good one. My wife and I moved to Mississippi after getting married. She's a native and I'm from out of state. We met online and had the wedding in my hometown. She had the full ride and assistantship at Mississippi State, so it didn't make sense to have her give that up. We were fortunate in that her grandfather had an extra property he wasn't using, and he lets us stay there rent-free. It's a crap shack in the middle of the woods that was built by an idiot who has no business playing with Legos, much less building an actual structure, but hey, it's free. I can only complain so much. My wife's schedule varies greatly by the day, which saw her alone at the house while I was working when the entitled mother showed up. EM entitled mother, W wife, GIL grandfather-in-law. So my wife is hanging out in the living room, doing some work before she has to leave for class, when she hears someone drive up. Our house is really out of the way, so we don't really get guests. She was going to get her handgun when she sees a slightly older lady walk by the window. Not seeing a threat, she went and answered the door when the knock came. W. Can I help you? EM.
Yes, I wanted to talk about renting this place for my daughter.
W. Oh, sorry, but me and my husband are living here. EM.
Well, my daughter is in college and needs a place to stay.
W. Well, that's great and all, but like I said, I live here. EM. I was hoping to talk to GIL? W. Getting irritated. No, the house isn't for EM. I know him personally, you see, and I wanted to talk to him about renting. W. I don't care if you know him, your daughter can stay here. My husband and I live here. What aren't you getting about that? EM. Young lady, I'm sure GIL won't appreciate that you're talking to me like this. W. I'm sure that my grandfather won't give a damn that I told you that your daughter is going to have to find another place to live. EM looks shocked at the mention that GIL is actually my wife's grandfather and she wasn't some random squatter living in his house. She huffs, turns on her heel, and goes back to her car. My wife goes back inside and uses a sturdy note card to create a sign that is taped to our door to this day. We are not and will not be renting. Management. Alright guys, that was everything I had for today. I will be back tomorrow with more fresh stories. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you have enjoyed the video and subscribe. Have a nice day.